Hey everyone, today we are going to try to make or replicate a key cover. Okay, if you notice, it has a lobster clasp at the top, and this is actual vinyl on the front and the back, and the bean stitch goes all the way around, and then there's a satin stitch where the hole for the lobster clasp should be. And on the back, there's just a slight semicircle and then a key opening on the back. So there's faux leather in the front and faux leather in the back. I chose faux leather because it's easier to work with when you're doing in the hoop projects. And I managed to find a little house off of the internet, and I did digitize that, so I know that this is my house key. So let's see if we can replicate that. I did it a couple of days ago, so hopefully I remember everything I did correctly. Okay, so what I did was I started off and I went to Google. So I typed in key silhouette. And one of the ones I found that I thought would work really well was a vector art from Vecteezy. So I clicked on it in images, and it's free download. So instead of downloading it, luckily with SewArt, all you have to do is put your cursor on top of it, right click, and then click on copy image. I'm going to minimize that and go to SewArt, and then go up to edit and paste. Okay, so it's huge. It's really, really huge. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to resize it. And I'm going to go ahead, and I would think that the key itself would be, let's go down to 3 to start, 3 inches. All right, that's a little better. Let me zoom in here. And I'm actually going to crop this picture because I don't need the actual key with the little insets. I don't need that part. So let's go ahead and go to crop. And I'm going to start from the left and move in and get as close to where it starts turning into the circle. All right, and then click crop again, and we're left with this. So that's looking pretty good. So let's resize it and see what happens. Okay, so now we're at 1.26 and height 1.30. I think I can go down just a tad. Let me try 1.2. Okay, and if it's a little big, it's okay. All right. So now in SewArt, we want to go ahead and make sure that that's only 2 colors. So let's go ahead and see how many. Wow, a whopping 97 colors. So I'm going to click 2. I'll click OK. You see, it really didn't change very much. So I'm going to go ahead and leave it like that. Let me double check. Yes, it's at 2. Okay, so this is what we're going to work with. All right, so now I'm going to go to the sewing machine stitch image icon. Okay, and I'm going to click, let's see. I'm trying to remember which one I did. I think I did outline border. Let's try it and see. It can't hurt. I probably should have written all of this down. Okay, so we're going to try outline border, but over here next to fill it says satin. I want to change that to bean, and I want my settings to be, let's see, let me double check. Okay, I want my settings to be 2 and 30. Was it 30? Let's see. Yes, okay. So 2 for the height and 30 for the length. Okay. Let's see. I don't want to do anything other than that. Okay, let's see how it looks. Okay, it looks like it followed it pretty good. Excuse me. The only thing is I see it's done something right here too. But that's okay. We can get rid of that. Let's see. I'm going to do the satin stitch in the middle using SewWhatPro. Okay. So basically all I need right here is this. Okay, so I'm going to click OK. Yes, I want to save the embroidery file. And I'm going to, let's see, I'm going to go ahead and put it in key covers. And I'm going to start with 2 because I did other files when I made that first one. So I'll put 2 bean key all, which will be all the way around. I know it goes all the way around. Okay, click save and then save again and then okay. All right, so now we're going to check it out in SewWhatPro. So I am going to open it. I'm going to go to quick access because I just did it, which is a great feature in Windows. Okay, and you see 2 bean key all. I'm going to click open. Okay, so you'll notice it's pretty true to size because from here to here it's 1 inch. And you'll see it goes over just a bit. So I think it'll work. If anything, it'll be a tiny bit bigger. But when you're doing this on your own, you know, you want it to fit your own specific key. So you'll do your measurements and kind of see from there. Okay, so I'm going to zoom in. So I'm going to click on Shift on my keyboard. And then the little mouse wheel, I'm going to go up, which makes it so much easier than using this toggle down here. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is I want to erase this. I don't need it right now, okay? And I want to erase from here to here because this will be the key cover. I mean where the key slips in. Okay, so I'm going to click on, let's see, where are we at? Okay, up here, open cutting toolbar with the little scissors. I'm going to click on that. And then I'm going to click on the little eraser. And I'll go ahead and do this side so we can do it real quick. All right, and I'm going to press down and erase. And then I'll click close, and it's going to say, do you wish to perform pending erasures before closing? I'll say yes. Okay, let's do it again. Click on open cutting toolbar, the eraser. Okay, so I'm going to start, let's see, okay. You see where it kind of starts curving and then it goes straight? It's a tad bit off right there, but I want to do the same length from here to here as from here to here. So it looks like if I start here and start erasing, it should be good enough about right there. Hopefully everybody can see that. And then I'll click close and then yes. Okay. So this is going to be the pattern. Let's see if I can get it to do. Okay. So this is going to be going from here to here. Okay, so that's our first part. So we're going to save that file, save as, and I'm going to start with 2. Okay, well actually I can leave it 2 bean key all because I just edited it and then hit save. And then it exists. Yes, I want to replace it. Okay. Let's see. Okay, so now I want to open, let's see, I'm going to go to select it and I'm going to go edit, copy, and then I'm going to open a new tab and then edit and paste. Okay, so, and let me zoom in. So I'm going to click shift and then use my mouse wheel to scroll in so I can see better. Okay, so now we have the same exact feature we had before. So what we want to do is not only erase this, but we want to erase from here to here, because if you look at the back end of the key cover, you need enough room for that key to fit in there. So if you closed it up, you're not going to get it in there. So if you look right here, it's just that little semicircle here, and this is open. Okay, so this is what we're kind of shooting for. All right, so I'm going to click my toolbar up here, make sure it's on the eraser. Yes, that's the one I want. Okay, I know that I did about here to here. Okay. And then I'm going to do here all the way around to here, and then click close, and then yes. Okay, so I'm going to call that file, save as. I'm going to call that to bean. I'll do semicircle, even though it's not really a semicircle. And then hit save. Okay, so now I want to get to the point where we put where like the I guess you could call it a let's see, it's where the lobster clasp goes in. It's going to be this part right here. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and open up a new one, and I'm going to open, I want, let's see, let's do, well, this is one I did before, but it's not going to be the same size. It's a tad bit smaller. So we're going to do this. I'm going to go up, wait, to be keen. Oh, okay, open. All right. I'm not going to need this, but I'm using it for placement only. Okay, because I want to make sure that it falls exactly in the same place and distance from the top. So let's see. I'm going to add a circle. And then I'm going to click, let's see. We're going to keep it, well, let's do satin. Okay, satin outline. We'll change that from 2 and 30 to, let's try 15 at the top. And let's do 2 at the bottom. Okay. Now for border width and border height, let's make it really, really small. Let's see what happens. Okay, so we're getting somewhere. So I think from there, since that's the smallest I can make it, I'm going to, let's see, let's go ahead and place it first. Okay, so I know that that's a tad bit big. We don't want it that big. So I brought it down. Let's see, put it about here, about halfway. Okay, so if you notice, I left a little bit at the top. I guess maybe 1/4 of this block right here, so that you could put anything else you wanted right here. Okay, so if you had some small fonts and you wanted to put a name on it, this is the point where you know, you could do that too if you wanted to. So we could do it at this point, or we can do it at the next point, but we'll see. All right, so I still want to get rid of this because I don't need another one like that, but this is exactly where I need it. So I'm going to do file, save as. Okay, and I'm going to call it to satin. Oops. I'm just going to put keyhole. Okay, to satin keyhole. All right, and then hit save. Okay. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I want to bring all these together. I had to keep them separate because of the way that we needed to put everything in its exact spot. So I'm going to click on a new one. Okay, this will be my new. Let's go to, let's see, this semicircle first. Wait, where's the big one? Okay, let's open. Okay. All right, to bean key all. I'm going to open that one first. Okay, and let me click on shift and zoom in so I can see. All right, so that's going to be the one that we'll probably want to run first. And then let's do file, merge. And then I want the to bean semicircle, open. Now it's going to get kind of confusing because they're both dark gray. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the second one And look, I'll just change it to red. And then that way I'll know where things start and where things end. And then I need to do file merge, and I need to bring in the satin key. Oh, okay, open that. All right, so now I have, if I click on one, I have my full at the top, opening for the key bottom. For 2, I have the, I don't want to call it a semicircle, the pieces of the semicircle at the bottom. And then I have the key where you put the lobster clasp. Okay, so what I want to do now is I want to call this my final copy because it's got all the elements that I need in it. Okay, so I'll do File, Save As, okay, and I'm gonna call it to Final Copy of Key Cover. All right, and then I'll hit save. Okay, so let's go through the stages of what you're going to do when you stitch out. Okay, and I may later on down the line in a couple of days make another video where I actually stitch it out, but let's just run through this. So okay, you're gonna hoop a layer of tearaway, medium weight, doesn't matter. And then you're going to run this one right here, number 1, as your placement stitch. So just run this one, number 1, on your hoop, on the stabilizer, directly on the stabilizer, okay? And so now, once you do that, you'll know where to put your faux vinyl. So you'll take your piece of faux vinyl, or whatever, you know, you happen to be using, put it on top, and just kind of make sure, if we pretend this is our hoop here, just, you know, make sure that it goes over that area, okay? And then go ahead and run number 1 again. On my Brother PE 800, all I have to do is click the plus or minus, and it'll take me back a stitch. So I'll go ahead and run that, okay? Once that happens, you can then go down to number 3, okay, and run the little satin keyhole stitch, and that's gonna tell where it needs to go, where you can use like a little either tweezers or a little puncture tool, and you can kind of, or maybe even some little fine embroidery scissors, and puncture a hole in there. That should do the trick. So you go ahead and run that on top of your vinyl, okay? And once you do that, this part, let's see, okay, so this part and this part will be done. And then I have the little house. So it's at this point where if you want to add a name or a little house or a car or whatever, you can do file, merge, and add whatever it is that you want, and just kind of place it along these lines right here. Just make sure you don't get too close to the bean stitch, or you run into, you know, some issues of, you know, when you cut it out. Okay, so once all of this is run, you take your hoop out of the machine, clip anything you need to clip, flip it over, okay, and take another piece of vinyl, if it's the same color, whichever one you're using, and then let's just pretend that this is the bottom part of my hoop. So you would put that piece of vinyl right on top, okay? And I use freezer tape. It goes on easy and it comes off easy. Everybody has their preferences. And I tape all 4 corners, you know, a little piece here, 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 and here. If, you know, you're worried about it getting kind of mushed under the hoop while you're doing it, you can tape all the sides if you want. I've actually never had that happen. So if you tape it real good on all 4 corners, you should be good to go. And then put it back on your machine, and then that's when you're going to run number 2. And what number 2 is going to do is it's going to secure from here to there and here to here, on the front and the back. And so what that's going to do is it's going, let me go ahead and take this off real quick. Hold on 1 second. I'll take the lobster claps off. That's going, if you see it here and you see it here, you'll notice I can put this little flap down and I can get my key in there actually, okay? And then once you fit it on and you put your lobster clasp or key ring back on, it's gonna hold the whole thing in place, okay? All right, and once you do that, you can take it off of your hoop. And then I just took a really good pair of scissors and I cut like all the way around, okay? And then I took, I believe, let me find that tool real quick. I think I got it at Harbor Freight, if I'm not mistaken. It came in a pack. It's one of these. It's got a really, really sharp pointed edge. And then this edge is, I don't know what I would use it for, but it's kind of cool. And I kind of pierced through. I used my sewing mat, the cutting mat, to kind of go through and pierced it, making sure that I don't, pierce through the satin stitch, okay? All right, and that should do it. Once you cut it out, you slip your key in and put your key ring in there and you should be good to go. Thanks everyone for watching, and like I said, in a couple of days, I plan to do a stitch out so that you could see the whole thing in action. All right, guys, y'all have a great day. Thank you.